Have you ever wanted to start a YouTube channel, but you didn't know what you wanted to talk about? Whether you had so many options to choose from, or whether you don't know if you have anything that you can bring. Today, we're going to talk about your niche and how you can find it. I'd thought about doing YouTube for years, but I never actually made any decisions because I didn't have a niche. I didn't have anything that I really thought that I could talk about for a long time, and it held me back from actually starting a channel. So I struggled with that question. How do I start a YouTube channel when I don't know what I can talk about on a regular basis? The problem that I had was I never knew exactly what I wanted to do. I never had one specific thing that I wanted to focus in on. I had different things that I could talk about, things in my career or photography or just things that I had done in the past, but I didn't have a true passion for those things anymore. So I didn't want to get stuck into something that I wasn't super passionate about because I knew that once I started YouTube, that I would not be able to change or, deviate from that particular niche that I had chosen or that topic that I had chosen to talk about. So it held me back for years. I didn't even start until, years later after trying to decide on one certain thing to focus on. And this really hampered my growth. I mean, I would be a lot further along now if I'd have started a lot earlier, obviously, but the learning curve is so high for YouTube that if I had just started on something, even though it wasn't something that maybe I would have stuck with for a long time, it would have given me that edge to be able to start my learning process. So in my case, I just wound up starting, and I just kind of went in there and just started doing it because I knew over the years, after I had put off YouTube for a few years, I still knew that I wanted to do it. So it wasn't something that was just, just a thing that came over me and I got over it. It was something that year after year I kept saying, why don't I just get on YouTube? So for me, in my situation, I just wound up starting, and I started really rough and I started really dirty. And I didn't really have a plan except to get better at camera and get better at editing and all the things that you need to do YouTube. The other question that I had is, why is somebody going to listen to me if I'm not an expert on something? That there's people out there that talk about the same subjects that I know about, and they talk about it in way more detail, and they go into different aspects of expertise than I do. So what makes me so special that people would even want to listen? I think that's a question that a lot of people struggle with. I know that I had this fear for a long time before I started YouTube about not wanting to start because I didn't believe that I had anything to offer. And by the way, if you're struggling with something that you need help with and you don't have anybody to talk to, I put a link in my description where you can reach out to me one-on-one and we can see what kind of issues that you're dealing with. So how do you fight this feeling about not being an expert? And I know this is a big feeling for a lot of people because I think they have a name for it, imposter syndrome. How do you get on camera and start talking about something and not get called out by other people? The issue is when you get on camera and you start talking about something and you get a fear of being called out or a fear of judgment because you may say something that's already been said, or you may not say something correctly even. And so you have this fear like that you're tensed up and you're worried about what other people are going to say about you and what other people are going to think, and it's just going to be a flop and a waste of time, and you've got all these things going on in your mind that are just negative thoughts, just keeping you from doing what you want to do or talking about what you want to talk about. So take something like gardening, for example. There's 1,000 people out there that know how to do gardening. So what's going to make your gardening advice any better or any different than anybody else? There's still other people that know what perennials are in season. I'm not a gardener, so I'm just kind of using words that I've heard, but there's people that know a lot more about gardening than you, most likely. I mean, unless you're the top person in the world, but there's always going to be somebody out there that knows more about a topic than you do. Unless you're in some sort of special niche that nobody else knows about. So if you're looking to get into YouTube, you have to first ask yourself, why? What is the purpose of your YouTube channel? There's a lot of different reasons behind it. It could be, you want to just make it a hobby, or you might want to start a business around it, or you just think it's interesting and fun and you want to do it. So you have to think about why you're doing it. Do you want to educate people or whatever the reason is? And then find out what you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, you're probably going to get into it and realize that it's a lot of work. And if you don't enjoy that work, that you're going to burn yourself out quickly and you're just going to quit on your channel. And all that time that it takes a long time to get started. All that time that effort you put into it is just going to be for nothing. So you have to understand what you're doing it for, and then if you see yourself doing it in 5 years from now, make sure you think about these things. You can always change it later, but if you start to build something and then you decide you don't like that, you're stuck in that and you have to give that up in order to change it to something else. The other thing to think about is don't worry about if somebody else is in the niche that you want to get into. Don't even worry about if you're not an expert in that niche. If you're a step ahead of somebody else, you can teach what you know to somebody else that's right below you. And you can document your journey and help somebody else. If education is something that you're interested in, or if you feel like you're just not an expert. The other thing is you're going to be able to bring something that nobody else can, because you have your own story and you have your own unique style and personality that you can bring that nobody else can bring to the table. So when you make things yours, people start following you, not just because they can get information from you, because they can get information from anywhere now, especially with ChatGPT. Information is just abundant, but people want to learn from other people too. So actually ChatGPT is making it better to learn from a person because you get their unique experiences and all that. So you being you and the stories that you have to bring, and the aspect that you bring to the table is going to even make you a stronger person in that niche. And an example of this is I have a video that I did where there's 3 creators that I looked at, and they're all in the same niche, and they made different stories, and they have different followers because of it. And you can check out that video right here.